My dude, what's up?
What's happening?
Dude, I'm glad to get you back. I was just telling you, like, we're kind of booked out for the next 3 months. So I was like, dude, I got to get my Nate time in for this quarter, you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it because I kept looking at the calendar, had to flake on you the one time, and now I couldn't even wait till next week because I already know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's a good problem, but it's a problem.
And it's a Friday.
Yeah. No, this is a good day. And you always catch me after the first.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I know.
I don't know if it's on purpose, but you always catch me after the first.
It really wasn't, but I mean, it happened. But we talked about that last time. And tell me what all's going on now, because you have this new initiative. Y'all got like this mobile setup. Like, tell me what's going on with all that stuff.
So right now, like, I'm trying to fix problems that had snowballed for the last 30 years.
In the entire system?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the fitness of people in general, let alone soldiers, they're not as what it should be. Now, you got some people that, I mean, they're really gifted and they're hard-charging G.I. Joes. I mean, they're after it. But the vast majority of people, they're like office workers. So they're clerical. They're, hey, man, I got to do your medical referrals. I got to make sure that X, Y, Z, bean counters, logistic, like they're like regular civilians but have military uniforms. So I get caught in the whirlwind of you have to be prepared to go do something if it calls for you.
Yeah.
I think we've been lulled to sleep for a little while, and that as of late they've really cracked down and said, you have to be ready. So with my mobile trailer right now, I think we could train 80 people at a time. And it's a 20-foot beaver foot trailer, and that it has 5 squat racks, 5 pull-up bars, fully outfitted, bumpers, kettles, like the whole thing, TRX, like it is what it is, but hefty price tag. So what I'm trying to do is get like 5. So right now we're trying to negotiate if I can get like a big covered awning. They call it a Sun Pro, where you'd have a 20-foot trailer fully outfitted. I think each lane would have 550 pounds a piece, and you have 6 lanes that you'd have, so you get roughly 4,000 pounds, give or take. And that each one has a hex bar, each one has kettles up from 20 to 80, each one has a bar, each one has TRX. Like you can train everybody, and it would be under one big metal roof. So I got a guy coming Tuesday for a site visit, and that they figure out, okay, where does it have to be? Does it have to be reinforced concrete? What kind of engineering do we have to do? Are we going to go with the canvas like they have on the playgrounds to block the sun? Are we going to go with the steel? Like, are we going to do like a building that has like the big bubble top where it looks like a giant indoor football field? Like stuff like that. So trying to get a feel for how to best help this installation become what every other one is supposed to be.
So this will be there 4 mobile units in there?
I hope so.
5 or 4?
I hope
4?
So.
4 mobile units all under one roof that you can then deploy and use other places too.
Yeah.
So they'll be stationary there to where if you want to open them up and use them as a gym there, and then you also can hook to them and drag them wherever else.
Yeah, they're 10,000 pounds a piece.
So when are we going to get to use one of these?
I mean,
do I have to like do some like special like base access to get in there?
I can go in there and sponsor you on. I mean, that's really cool. And I'm trying to
come work out on one of them one day.
Yeah, we just got 4 Rogue rowers, the ones with the big tires.
Yeah.
So we just got 4 of them. So now I just made drag sleds because they didn't know that you could do that. So I went right over to Firestone, said, "Hey, what are you guys doing with the tires out back?" And we got to recycle them. I said, "Well, can I have them?" And so they said, "Yeah, go out and get them." So I just took 4 tires, drilled holes through the radials, make sure you got the eyelets, put it through the 2x4, put the slats in the middle, and now we got 4 drag sleds for nothing.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you don't have funding, you got to get creative.
Right.
So,
well, this is what's weird. Like, I feel like that should be the first thing funded, right?
Yes. You know what dawned on me is that it's like a $15 billion inventory that they have, and that those big birds require a whole bunch of money.
Oh, I bet.
To keep them moving. Like the tons of jet fuel at $4 a gallon is ridiculous. How much that costs, plus the maintenance on things, and I think they're 75 years old. Yeah. Those planes. Pretty old. So there's constant upkeep. So I didn't understand selfishly because I'm the health guy. I'm going, no, we need this. We need this. I don't care about that. I don't know nothing about that. And then when I started stepping back and looking at it, I understand much better now that certain lanes have certain earmarked dollars that can go there, and you can't dip into different
Right,
ones.
so you just got to create a new one.
Yeah.
And it takes a little while to do that.
And that it takes you showing that it worked. And
Right.
So remember we were talking about like there's never a time where you're not trying to like get after something. Never. So right now I just got off the phone with a dude at LA Tech, called Purdue yesterday. Now I got a guy at he's in Arizona. I don't know. Or somewhere in Arizona State or something like that. I'm trying to get a hold of their ROTC program. So their ROTC and then their junior ROTC programs, who runs those programs. So I can get to the bottom of this whole holistic thing. So
what does that look like? What do you mean? So like you're getting a hold of them for preparing cadets to come here? Like, what does that look like?
So this is for all branches.
Okay.
So the best way that I can provide value is to have the biggest footprint ever. So I am one voice for 300,000, however many soldiers that we have. I don't know. But I know that we have a need that we can't fill, and that we're not physically well enough because these young people didn't grow up outside.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is, like, I'm inheriting, in our case, for the Air Force, airmen that are just not physically excellent. They're not terrible. They're not what we could be. So I had a big brain idea one day. I said, well, I can only control what I can control if I let it be that. So what I said is, all right, where did they come from? Well, they got to go through Shreveport MEPS. And who out of that prepares them? Do they give them a handout that says you got to run 1.5 miles push-up sit-ups for your ROTC programs in your high school? Like, how are they preparing them? What physical competencies do they say they have to have for your college? So for your ROTC programs in your colleges, who are going to be your officers, who's preparing them? Like, what standards are they having being set? Because your officers, if they're not physically well adept to saying, I get after it, and I view that health and performance is good, they don't lead the enlisted airmen to be able to do better, because the officers dictate what the enlisted do. The officers are in charge.
Right.
So if the officers don't view it as important, I don't care how well I get after the basic training part, the enlisted can only do so much. The officers are the say-so. Like, they are the ones that give the approval to say, yeah, during work, you four go, you four stay. When you four are done, you four go. So it's constant. They will encourage them to stay ready. They'll allow them to go train, make sure they stagger shifts, whatever. So I think, like, way outside of like the immediate. So I'm thinking, okay, I got a hold of the person at basic training, the human performance guy, and luckily he and I think just alike. So they are already changing their program, and then in order to make it to where I told them, here's what I would need you to do. I'm inheriting kids that can't do 6th grade gym class, because I'm telling you right now, you can grab a group of adults and you can say, hey, go skip 20 yards and watch what happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's going to look ridiculous, right? Yeah. So I, like, when I was talking to the group today, and because the vast majority of people, once they get out of high school, they never sprint, they never jump, they never cartwheel. They don't do that anymore because life doesn't dictate it. So when you're inheriting these kids and they haven't done it, they've never done it, they didn't grow up outside, and that they weren't taught it anytime, if they weren't athletes prior, we have to make sure that basic training and their ROTC programs, and they encourage athleticism, not running, push-up, sit-ups. So athleticism being, I can get over a barrier.
Yeah.
I can crawl. I can jump.
Functional fitness.
Yeah. So my goal for them is, and I told them today, my goal for them is what I want you to be able to do when I leave you in 6 months, because we just started 2 weeks ago with, I've tripled my workload in the last little bit. That's why it's hard for me to get in here. My goal is you can move now like you did when you were a child. So the children have it right. They were baked in with the stuff that we're supposed to have. And that over time, we just stopped doing it because it's inconvenient. So, like, you should be able to roll. You should be able to, like, swing from a monkey bar. You should be able to leap up to the second stair. You should be able to like jump a fence.
Yeah, our excuses always were old. No, you just have gotten comfortable and complacent. You know, that's it.
So that's the coolest part is I'm trying to restore childhood back to them. The reason why we keep getting hurt and we're not that great anymore is because we stop moving like kids. So kids inherently just play. They play and they bend and they're goofy and they're running around and they're crawling like dogs on the ground. Like they look like little dogs doing that. They'll have those races sometimes. Where they'll kick their shoes off to have a sprint because they know barefoot is the way to go. I'm trying to give them what they're trying to erase. So that to me is why I'm advocating so much for like this mobile training things.
Yeah.
So it takes the barrier of them moving out of there. And so all the stuff that we've been doing, so hell, this last week I tested 156 people on my performance testing, so baseline, where we have a max power output, a upper body strength endurance test, and a anaerobic threshold test. So it'd be on a bicycle, you set it to the resistance being like 60, which it's pretty hard. It's like riding through dirt, riding through sand. And then you have them push as hard as they can, like a dog is chasing them for 6 seconds. And then you say, okay, what was the highest wattage produced? That would equal what like a broad jump would tell you. So scientifically backed, I made sure like there's lots of people, eggheads that are way smarter than me, that can say this is a good indicator of how much can you do without tearing your joints up.
Okay, and this is, so watts, we're talking about like on a road bike? What are we talking about? A road?
Yep.
So like,
it'd be like a stationary.
What was the average watts you were seeing in 6 seconds?
So for ladies, like above 400, pretty good.
Okay.
For guys, we had one guy get 796.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
But he's also 6'5", 260, big dude. But he is not highly trained.
Right.
So big man that's highly trained, way more wattages. 1,000
yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
So for context, our strength coach was just joking around, and he's about 270, big dude, and he's just joking around, and he's not like his hip is jacked up, and he got 700 just messing around.
Right.
So he
What'd
could
you
easily.
Get? You don't say it.
No, I've gotten above 1,000.
I know that. I already knew that.
But you got to figure like average people.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. What does the average number look like? It's in around the 4 to 500.
4 to 5 for ladies, and then above 6 for like if you get 6, 7 for a guy, like you're doing pretty good. But the goal is, and then the next one was hand release push-ups. So I can't tell you how many people are terrible at like push-ups.
And not only that, then hand release is way harder.
It's way harder because you take away the rebound. And that it's kind of like a squat. If you have a pause squat at the bottom, it's way harder than a regular squat because it's like a rubber band that you come back up. So they were all huffing and puffing, mad that they were doing it. I said, all right. And so what I started doing now is just back briefing everybody. Every time I do something, I tell them why.
Right. So this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So you can't bitch and complain and say, look, we're doing this for a reason.
Yeah. And so this is the first time this has ever been done ever. Like, so we're setting the standard for how things should be expected. This has never, ever been done. So this group of people is going to serve as what should move the standard forever of what we expect. So I told them when you go all the way down to the ground, so let's say you do that stupid 90-degree push-up and then you worm on the way up. And then people put their head down. And so as soon as I put my head down, my chest doesn't do any more work. It's all shoulders and triceps. And that shoulder impingement is the number one issue for most female soldiers because they have never been that strong coming up. So if they didn't start off being strong and then they're just seesawing that AC joint right here, you're gonna get bicep tendonitis and shoulder impingement just because that's not what you're supposed to do. All they would have to do is raise their head up and their chest would work, but then they're not as strong so they dip their head back down. So this takes away the whole thing. If you go all the way down, flash your hands right back onto your armpits and press up, it is a full repetition. It's like a dead hang pull-up. And I told him, I said, this is way harder, right? I said, oh yeah. So well, if you train like this all year round and you go to do regular push-ups, it's an absolute joke.
Yeah, it's there's nothing to it.
Like dead hang pull-ups.
Yeah.
If you train dead hang pull-ups all year round, and you go to do a set of butterfly, kipping, whatever, it's a joke. Especially if you start adding weight, if you add tempo, I mean, you name it. So for 2 minutes, we go as hard as we can. I don't care if you rest on your knees. I don't care if you shake them. I don't care. So max effort. And every person got up going, this is ridiculous. Because it's hard. And we had the top, I think the top guy, he got 66. I can't say 66.
Hand release.
Yep, 66. So
what's the time limit?
2 minutes.
Time cap. Okay,
yep, so you can shake it out much as you want. The Army standard.
That's pretty good.
I think top is like
that's
80,
pretty good.
80 for the Army. Now there was a guy that got the most hand release push-ups in a minute was 70. World record. That is cooking.
Yeah, that's insane. But 60 something in 2 minutes is still not bad at all.
No. And it's harder than it looks.
Yeah, so people don't understand if you've never done them. We do them a lot in a lot of CrossFit workouts and stuff, and it sucks, especially mixing it in with other movements.
Yes. And then immediately following that, we have a 300-yard shuttle.
Okay.
So it's down and back 25 meters as fast as you can humanly go. And that, once again, I told them why. So they're like, well, a mile and a half is the standard for a PT test. And I told them, I said, when have you ever ran to an emergency at a 9-minute pace?
Yeah.
Ever.
And when have you ever had to run a mile and a half to emergency?
Ever.
It's usually within sight, probably, right?
Yeah. So the greatest thing to me is to tell them why and not just say, because I said so. Because that's how we always said, do it because I said so. And the young ones coming up, they need to know why, because they have lots of information at their fingertips with their phone. They're like, well, I can ask Siri or Chat GPT why. When if you don't provide them expertise, they ain't gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
And so I told them, okay, all right, here's the deal. You need to be able to produce force. You need to be able to start and stop. So you need to be able to decelerate and accelerate over and over and over again. And that I want to see what you got. And that there's your anaerobic threshold, because you should finish this in less than 90 seconds. If you don't, we are not fit. And so male, female, don't care. Less than 90 seconds, that's what we need.
300 or 25-meter swaps.
Yep.
300 total meters. Yeah.
Collegiate athletes usually getting about 50 seconds.
Right.
And the standard that I want to set, this is not the standard right now. The one I want to set, which I used to hold everyone to, is you run a 300 shuttle, you rest 3 times the amount, and then you have to run it again. And you have to get it within 10% of your time, otherwise you have to run it again. So if you did it in a minute, you have to do it within 110 or better, or you run it again because you're not in shape.
That's fair enough.
And that way, you're getting them to where they can repeat the effort. Anybody can do something once. It's now when you can do it and then do it again, you show what you got. So trying to get that in there. And then because of that, so if I can justify, okay, average for all the people. So right now I got 600 people. So for all the people, we got 1/4 tested so far. So for these 3 squadrons, here's the average power output, here's the average push-up, here's the average shuttle, time-wise, rep-wise, whatever. And at baseline versus midterm versus end cap,
got you.
What happened? Did we improve? And I can create their programs according to what the average says.
So these are not put into place yet for standards. These are something you're testing.
Oh yeah, nobody's ever done this.
Right, so you're testing it on this group of people in tandem with your training program.
Correct.
Are they all following the training program?
They have to.
They have to.
All
right, so they opted in, or is this something that the base just said you're doing?
Those commanders written in the policy because I cooked the game. So I don't ever play fair. It's why. It's like, why would you train for a fight and want to have 50-50 shot? No way. I want 100% success in my favor.
Sure.
So I stacked the deck, and so I said, all right, if you score below a 90%, you have to see us twice a week.
Okay.
If you are injured, you have to come see us to become not injured.
Right.
If you scored above a 90%, I don't care what you do, because you're already fit. I don't care. You just come and test.
You're doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. Because look, man, I'm never going to punish somebody that's already doing something they love. It's not meant to be. And the way that I've tried to phrase this, it's not meant to punish anybody that scored below. This is me just helping you.
I want you to be better.
Yeah. And so once they realize, like, us as a team, like, we weren't trying to say you're bad. Just saying, okay, cool. This is what we have to do. Let me help you. Here's the resources to help you, and it's so much better. Like, I've learned a ton since the last time I talked to you, just because you don't know what you don't know, and that I was viewing it as like, what is wrong? Like, why are you guys not wanting this? Like, how can you not see this? Instead of, I'm here to help you. This is the standard. Right now we don't meet it. Let me help you meet the standard.
Gotcha.
So much, much better. With that, comes the justification of those mobiles. If I wasn't doing the holistic thing, trying to figure out how we can fix this, they have no reason to try to give me stuff, because why? If the current system, it works, what for?
Yeah.
So I want what we're doing here to expand everywhere. Man.
So what are you doing? So when do you get to deploy those? How does that work?
Oh, just every day. Every day.
Like,
So the one I got
pull
now,
them to different departments. You just hook up to them, or
you can. So right now we keep it stationary because of how many people we have. We only have 3, but it's only 3.
right. So you don't have to.
That way we don't have to like find the 250, pull that thing,
Right.
unload it, go here.
Right.
If there's like a sports day or like a 5K or anything like that, you pull it up, and that's an alternative thing. And if somebody don't want to run a 5K, don't come throw down.
Right.
And that we'll have little challenges between like, hey, how many meters can you get in 90 seconds? And that top one gets a prize. And so you get people really showing out on that rower because it's something free to go hard.
Bro, I pulled the hardest I ever pulled on a rower this past weekend. We did a CrossFit competition.
Yeah.
Which we finally won one.
I saw that. It was
So,
a team thing.
Yeah, I got up to like 2,600 on the rower in mid-workout, which I've never got that hot, and stayed there for a minute. I was going to die. I was like, dude, I couldn't. Which those guys, they're longer, and they'll pull an average of like 18 to 1,900.
Sheesh.
At a comfortable pace, and they can hold that for a couple minutes. I'm pulling 14.
Okay.
For comfortable
Being
pace.
shorter.
Yeah. And my technique's maybe not as good, but also shorter limbs, shorter arms, shorter legs. But yeah, it made me think of that, dude. I was like, holy shit.
See, we just started working with one of the commanders. She was a collegiate rower for like West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So she showed me some technique. I'd never seen that before.
So we've been using a different, I don't want to give it away,
Yeah.
but I don't give a shit. I want everyone to know. Cause so instead of just cooking it, just banging it out and all like a lot slower and almost 1 calorie every pull.
Yeah.
Coming all the way up, pulling back all the way at a slower, steadier pace with a harder pull, and I'm getting 1 calorie every pull.
Yeah, the way that she had told me is she put it in the strength coach kind of verbiage that I can understand. She said, coach it like you would coach a deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
She said if the hips shoot too early or if they arch their back too early, the deadlift's no good, right? Said,
yeah.
I never thought of it like that. She said, treat the rower as a dynamic deadlift. If you do it like that, you're going to be just fine. And I never heard anybody say that ever. And as soon as she said that, it was like it clicked. I went, oh, this is no big deal. You should be driving like hell through your legs. The upper don't do much. And that use the recoil to breathe on the way in, and it's already going again. That was game changer. So I think I did like 700 meters without trying, and I wasn't out of breath. She said the other thing is people put the dampener too high. So it shouldn't be above 6 ever.
Right. See, I leave mine at 7 all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because she was like if you're going for like power, so like strength building stuff, then put it up.
Right.
She said, but 6 is about 5 or 6 is where you want to go. And I never thought of it like that. She said, you're going to get to the same place with less fatigue, and you're going to be more efficient.
That makes sense. I mean, we're doing high rocks, dude. My 1,000 meters at high rocks took a long time because I was so gassed. Mm-hmm. And the damper was just already, I didn't even mess with the damper. It was wherever someone else who just hit that station left it. Mm-hmm. And I think it took me like 6 minutes to get 1,000 meters, which is embarrassing.
That's
but
okay.
When you're in the middle of an hour and a half workout, nonstop, I mean, I felt good about it. It might have been 4:48. It was either 4:48 or 6. I can't remember. I don't remember my times, but it was embarrassing how long it took. But also, had I've been a little more efficient, I probably could have cut that time in half. I was just burning,
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Like when I get healthy again, I would like to try these things.
Healthy again?
Man, I got 3 injuries right now.
What happened? Let's talk about it.
So remember that high hamstring thing I was telling you about? I went and got seen, been physical therapy the whole time, and that the hamstring thing started going away. But then it was a combination, I guess, because it's an adductor thing too. That has not gone away. So while compensating for that, and I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything fun. All I was doing was a couch stretch, and I strained my right quad. I was just holding a stretch. I got done with the aerodynamic workout, felt great. I was just holding a stretch, and I had a weird twinge. I said, that ain't good. And I went to stretch again, another weird twinge. I said, shut it down, I'm out. Because I will not have another quad tear.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So right now, I got like a low grade quad tear on the other leg. And then
from overcompensating from yeah.
And then from doing more upper body, I have partial pec tear,
Been there.
partial lat tear, and then like some of the teres, it's the thing that it's a little muscle in there. So that's when I messaged you and said that, like,
Yeah, you guys start spot injecting some BPC.
If I reach out and I say, hey man, do you know somebody? Like, I've exhausted all the stuff that I know.
Have you figured out anything yet?
No. So
Okay. Well,
I'm trying to, the local guy from Shreveport,
Yeah.
apparently he's at Highland. The 2 PTs sent me his name, and I'll send it to you.
Well, I'd love to get you with Core Medical
Okay.
because I mean, dude, one, they work hand in hand with veterans, which, and they also like they have a huge which you might have seen that we talked about Colton Hill. I don't know if y'all know each other. But
Colton's cool.
He's the head of that department.
His family is real cool.
Well, you need to reach out to him if you know him, because he's the head of that department, and they're working hand in hand treating PTSD with testosterone replacement therapy, and they're also using peptides, like prescribing them. So like I'm on a protocol of, look, we've talked about this, but I'm actually on it with Core Medical now. With I'm on peptides. I'm doing the Samorlin, PPC 157, TB 500. And then as well as just my testosterone replacement therapy, which is very low. It's like 500 milligrams a week. No, it's not even that much. It's it's 500 milligrams a week, I believe.
0.25 twice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. But I've been trying to figure out, because I am of the opinion now, and maybe I'm just getting older and I'm kind of a little more smart.
I lied.
these
That's
days.
Misinformation. Well, I'm 250 milligrams a week because I'm only half a cc. 1 cc is 250. I don't want to be telling people I'm taking. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
Take 1 cc a week, so
Sure.
250 a week.
So right now, like, I think that, I don't know if it's age catching up or like I just been hurt so much that I think this next little thing is just getting back to healthy. Because like, what is it? You care about a lot of things until something goes wrong, and then you only care about one
care
thing.
about that. Yeah,
So right now, I think I only care about the one thing.
it's getting back to.
I keep thinking, okay, I can train around it. I can train around. No, you can't. Like, some things you got to address. So I guess the one guy at the Highland place, like, they do the PRP. They'll take your blood and spin it,
Right.
and then put it back. But it's not covered by your insurance,
Right.
So I think that's the lowest level. But I think there may be like multiple layers that I'm gonna have to try.
I really think spot injected peptides, especially BPC 157 with TB 500, spot injecting both of those probably help you a lot. But also just staying on that BPC, like why not? And I was swapping back because they say you're only supposed to run consistently like maybe 6 months and then take some months off. So I was doing the IGF 1, which has been around forever. You know, it's that old school, like they call it. I don't remember what they used to call it, but like they would say it would come from like the deer antler stuff and all that, like old school, like IGF 1, old growth hormone stuff. So that's something I stayed on for probably about 4 months, and then a swap to the Samorlin. But the BPC been staying running, which that's one they call like the Wolverine peptide, which is supposed to really, and it really does help. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you're not putting in something that it's not an anabolic agent. You know, it's something that
it's tissue healing.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit. I do not claim that I know a whole lot. I know a little bit. I know that those two together, like when I had the surgery, the big surgery, that was something they said, look, man, if you don't do this, it's going to be another 6 months, because it was already 18 months before I was okay. And that it did speed it. I'm just trying to figure what is the right way to layer this. That way I stop the cascade of hurt. Because I want to train. Like, that's the hardest part of any athlete, is telling them to stop. You don't have to motivate somebody that wants to go. It's making them stop. Like right now, I don't want to stop because mentally, like, it feels great to train. But physically, the machine is saying, check engine light, hold on, man. You gotta
That's what I feel like. I feel like the past 2 or 3 years, it's been, pinnacle of fitness as far as like inside and out, how I feel. Now, like looking at me, I may not look as fit as I did 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm in far better shape. And also, might have had some drinks, not be on my diet 100%, but still, I'd say I'm probably at about 85% efficiency right now, right? As far as like mentally and physically. But yes, my main reason talking and sitting down and actually running through this and getting on a protocol and doing this stuff is, that's what I told him. I was like, dude, I've abused anabolic agents like long time ago. I was doing it all for just to look good. You know, I just want to look good. I was going to be strong and look good, right? Okay. Now it's like I just want to do whatever I can do to promote longevity and to still be able to get it. I want to be able to get it at least for 10 more years.
Right.
Like I get to 46, 47, close to 50. I'm not going to be as worried about trying to compete and stuff, but like I want to at least for the next solid, 8, 9, 10 years. And with this stuff, I feel like I can. But what I've noticed with me is recovery, man. Just finding the right things, doing the cold plunge stuff, doing the sauna stuff, getting around and moving, constantly, making sure I'm stretching, like all the shit that I never did. It's so funny people tell you to do that, but those guys are just juice heads in the gym, bro lifting in the mirror. We're not having the same conversation, right?
Sure.
We're not, stretch a little bit before you lift. That's different. What we're having a conversation now is I'm pulling up on bars, we're jumping over boxes, we're lifting 3 times our weight, then we're running, then we're sprinting, then we're coming back and jumping and lifting more weights. Like that kind of stuff takes a different recovery strategy.
Sure.
And it also puts a lot of strain on you, and the older you are, the longer it takes to recover from that.
So I agree. There's a guy, Dan John. You might I would highly recommend looking him up.
Okay.
So he's the guy who came up with the goblet squat. Like very, very good strength coach. So he had said from 12, I'm going to butcher the age group, but basically for 15 years you want to do explosive things. So your first training age, you do explosive things, dynamic stuff, box jumps, freaking cleans, jerks, all of that, because it builds the ability to do it. The second part is where you're doing like work capacity, like high rocks, like that kind of stuff, where you're taking the explosive stuff, you're applying it, but it's not so crazy because your joints won't take it after that time. Yeah. And then once you hit 55, that's when you're doing all the bodybuilding and the mobility, because your body will not tolerate that kind of threshold.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So crazy explosive up front. So you built the machine. Secondary, some explosive plus like big movement type stuff, strongman type things like that. And then 55 plus should be the way that he does it, and that he does one bodybuilding exercise followed by one mobility exercise. Which
I think is a great technique. I'll tell you what it makes me immediately think of the DDP yoga stuff. Yeah. Because look how much they have helped all those guys from all the abuse, like just doing the movements, like, and I was doing a little bit of yoga. We were doing that like once a week. It was helping a lot, but it was like a full blown workout for me. Like that was a full blown workout. Like me and Suit would be in there with the women and my wife and them, and then dude, we're just sitting there hollering. It's a full blown workout, and it's one thing we do not get, and that's something I try to do more. But I think now it's like I don't have a stretch routine. It's more like, okay, let me start doing a little bit of movement, kind of being body aware, like, okay, what's kind of tight, what I need to loosen, what workouts are we about to do, let's do a little bit of warm up. That's kind of my routine now.
See, I think I've slid a little bit towards, like, there's a thing called a minimalist, where the minimum effective dose to get what you're looking for, and that I've been doing a lot of digging into what that is.
So you're talking about like high reps, low weight, or are we talking about like
actual training in general?
Okay.
So like past a certain stage, you don't need to train as much to get what you're looking for. I think we just train because we like it.
Yeah.
And that in your 20s and your 30s, you kind of can get away with lots of volume, lots of intensity, lots of days. Where when you get past a certain stage, and you'll know it when you get there, 2 to 3 days may do you as well as 5 to 6 days.
Yeah.
And that I'm starting to get to there, and it's weird to me because I love training. I love training. Like, it is the most fun. It's one of the only times that I can say is mine. And that every time else, it's somebody else is getting
someone's
benefit.
got you, yeah.
So what I've been trying to do is work capacity things. So yesterday's training, it may sound hard to some, but relatively what I used to do is very light. So I would take, so I started off 62-pound kettlebell.
Okay.
2 flights of stairs. So I don't know how many stairs, 35 stairs, I don't know. So
just farmers carrying and walking?
Yeah, so I carry it one hand up the stairs, down the stairs, you carry it 2 hands at the chest. Other side, carry it up the stairs, down the stairs, carry it. Then one arm, carry it down the hallway. It's like 50 steps. Switch hands, one arm down the hallway. Then you ride the aerodyne bike for 1 minute. You do 10 knee raises on the rings, and then you repeat it again. And you do that for 30 minutes. That to me is not training. That's just moving. I can do that every day. Like
right, but if you're out of shape, that'll kill you. But yes, if you're in shape and you're in your shape, then yeah, that's easy.
So you could do it with 10 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. And you scale the weight.
So I think I'm gonna have to do more of that to where
on the rings you holding dead hanging and then
down in dip position.
So you're all the way up.
Yeah, just hold it and then
all the way up like a muscle
knee
up,
raises.
and they're doing knee raises.
Yep. Gotcha. So you're basically I'm just moving at that point. And that if the rings are too wobbly, just go on like one of them Roman chairs and do it. But I'm thinking that I can only do 2 hard days, and before something starts talking to me right now. But I can do 4 of just the moving days where it doesn't beat me up. It's 30 minutes. I'm just in there. My heart rate's probably 110, 120. It's nothing major. And that you're doing it, to me, it simulates like yard work.
Yeah, that was me yesterday. It was just like I've already missed 2 workouts this week because of work, and which is fine, but I try to mix something in or do something. So there was a running protocol yesterday, but I didn't in our training, but I didn't want to run because I was like, I've already missed 2 lifts this week. I can run whenever, I'm not going to it's not going to serve me to do this 2-mile workout versus missing an entire hour and a half of programming of lifting and stuff. So it was I was doing a snatch complex, and it was a very nice build. It was like 60, 65%, 68%. You're doing 2, 2, 1. Then you take that 65, 68, 70%, 2, 2, 1. So it was that complex. That stretched out. That lasted me 30 minutes. And, getting the snatch going all the way up to about 78% of my snatch, right? Okay. Which is a nice little workout. And then I think I only built to like 215 on snatch, which for me that's a lot, but for some people that's not that. When you're looking at CrossFit athletes, it's not that much weight.
Hey, relatively. So if you look at general people in this world, that's a lot.
Right. And then so we go to power cleans from there, which is I love. And I started back down at like 185 and then the same kind of build up. And then we got to 245. Now, all this high rocks training I've been doing cut my strength significally. Okay. Now my gas tank's way more. Like as far as longevity, I can do a lot more a long time. So where I would have been at 78, 80% of my power clean being, probably 265. Now it's down to 245 because I've lost some weight, lost some strength. So get done with all that. Then there's another workout that I wasn't going to have time to do. So because I only had 30 minutes, about 20 minutes left in the window there to do stuff before the new classes come in and all that at 5:30. So I just jump on the Aerodyne and the Rogue and do just Tabatas, 30-second Tabatas. That's like my answer. If I just look, I got the strength in, but I still got to get an output workout. Like I have to. Like if my heart rate's not bumping 180 at least 3 times a week for me, I got to do that because that's just I built that threshold now. Yeah. But also, so I really didn't. I got all that, and like you said, my heart rate probably never went over 120. Sure. But then I at the end there, I had a good 5-minute window where I could go hard for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So the general one, I tell people usually, like if I'm training a hard day, my heart rate will stay above 140 the whole time. Right. So I tell people, like when they're training, just shoot for your heart rate to stay about 140, and you're gonna have a lot of output.
Yeah, because your threshold's different. Everyone's threshold's different as far as like what you can do. Yeah. But it's all about that heart rate getting up and then holding it there to get your capacity higher.
That way they're not focused on reps, sets, nothing. Like if you're working, because I know some people, they say, "Oh man, I work so hard," and I'm thinking, well, okay, what was your average heart rate? And they show me on their watch, and it was like 102, 105. I said, I understand, like mentally, everybody has a different starting point, but this is where I need you to go.
That's where the conversations where I'm having. Like, I can't have this conversation with a bro gym lifter, right? Because your heart rate's never getting over 110.
Unless they're squatting or something.
Right. But just it's not going to be a long time, right? So, like, it's a different conversation on recovery. It's a different conversation on stretching. It's a different conversation on everything. So, like, but I've been that person. I've done those workouts for a long time. I did that type of working out, and then I would add other stuff too, for a 2 a day, But I just can't. The conversations are different based on what type of athlete you are. And I don't consider myself an actual, like, practicing athlete, but I feel like that if I'm going out and we're training for competitions, we're doing competitions, and I'm not losing them, but I'm damn sure not winning most of them either, at least I can consider myself at athletic performance level, and I can have those conversations.
Yeah.
But at the same time, dude, these people that are just walking around and they have injuries from doing nothing. It's just like, what do you, I can't relate to you.
It's
You know what I mean?
harder. So it took me a long time. So and it's hard to see through somebody else's eyes. So coming from like high threshold performance type stuff, I used to almost be abrasive because like it irked me like when somebody wasn't willing to.
Yeah.
Until I realized that sometimes like going for a walk is taxing for some people because their level is so low.
Yeah,
So,
you're exactly right.
and so talking to them at their level and saying, okay, if this gets you out of breath, cool. So here's what I want you to do. Go to the level that you can go and then add one thing. And that when you get back to the office, you do 10 presses. And then tomorrow you do the exact same thing. Instead of just one set of 10, now we have 2 sets of 10. So it took me a very long time to understand that the level that I am accustomed to and I've just this is how I live life, that is not the norm.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. But when you get around a squad of people, it's everyone's norm.
Yeah.
It's a different conversation. But at the same time, I have empathy for everyone because I was overweight, young, and I kind of got picked on and got in fights because I was overweight in middle school.
Sure.
Which people could say, oh, well, that's genetic. Well, no, I ate like shit. I drank sodas all the time. I ate Little Debbie's. I didn't know what the fuck I was putting in my body. Like, it wasn't genetic. It was me being a fat ass, right?
Me too.
So, like, I figured out what to do. And, yeah, I've strayed the path sometimes for half a year at a time or something, just kind of partying or whatever. But it's not frustrating to have a conversation with people about this. More is like, I don't understand excuses when you've never even pushed yourself, right? And that's what's frustrating to me is if someone says, oh, I really want to lose some weight, or oh, I really want to get in shape, but then they are already creating an excuse why they don't, then that's what frustrates me. It's like,
I'll give it to you. So it's a mental health thing.
yeah.
So truly it's a mental health thing. It's not a physical thing. Mental health of how you can bake in failure because you're afraid to try. And it's so if you bake in failure, and humans for whatever reason, we're just lazy.
Yeah.
And
Well, we've become that way over hundreds of years. We used to not be.
so we're the weirdos because everybody else has figured out how to automate stuff and make it more efficient and less sucky. And so what I try to explain today is because they look at me like I'm the chimp because I'm saying, man, let's go. Let's try it. I'm so excited. Let's go. And they're like, well, why? So I said, well, because
I'm crazy.
That's exactly when they said why. Like I had to pause because I wanted to tell them all the things all at once, but they can't absorb it. So for me, I said, well, here's what I want you to understand. You like let's say that somebody came across being a vegan and they're so excited about it because their quality of life just went up so high and they want you to feel what they feel. Mm-hmm. They didn't understand that there was a level of like the way they slept, the way they felt, they fit in their clothes, whatever that is, they want you to know about it. That's why they talk about it incessantly. They won't leave it alone. It goes for anything. It doesn't matter. So the way that I talk to the people today, I'll use it today because it just happened. I said, from me to you, I want you to understand what excellence feels like because you don't know what you don't know yet. And that if I could give you what it felt like to be able to do anything that you wanted physically, nobody could stop you. You can do anything. I can pick that refrigerator up. I can run down the street and fast. Like I could save a kid. It didn't matter. Climb a tree, whatever. If I could give that to you, you don't understand the level of ease that you walk through with life. So everything in life is easier when you're optimal. You are more confident. You talk to people different. They treat you different.
Well, anxiety comes from most people that with anxiety are the people not doing these things.
Yes. And so if you could give them that ease, like I don't worry about anything. Like, and maybe I should, but I don't worry about anything. I carry myself as like, I'm gonna figure it out. And that physically, I don't worry about nothing.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, sure, there's people way stronger than me. They're probably not crazy to me. So we'd have to sort that out if it ever came to it. I would hope that it would never happen, but that's one of the ones where, like, I always want people to know what it feels like to be excellent. And that when you're trying to give it to them and they don't accept it, that's where you get irritated, because you're like, man, I'm trying to help you. Like, I want you to feel great, because I know what that feels like, and it's not great. You're tired all the time. You got mood swings. Your stomach hurts. You got brain fog.
Not only that, too, food, man. Food is another whole conversation, right?
Yeah.
The food thing is like,
I just want, like for my family, I used to be the odd one out, because I wanted them to know what it felt like.
Well, don't put that shit in your fucking mouth.
That's the hard.
Do not put it in your fucking mouth.
Do you know how hard that is?
It is in motor oil. Like, what the at 400 degrees. Like, don't put it in your fucking mouth.
That is the hardest thing. Once again, it's mental health.
Yeah, of course it is, but it's baked in when you've been. This is what you enjoy for 3/4 of your life. Say you're 20-year-old, airman or whatever.
Sure.
Your entire life, you drank Mountain Dew. Never really had any water.
Sure.
Had your Little Debbie's. Had your Big Mac. Whatever. Like, that's your lifestyle.
Sure.
And then you get to, finally out of that thing where your hormones are starting to slow, things are starting to level out. Maybe your testosterone dropping. You're not developing anymore. Then you get in a sedentary environment, and then you start to be out of shape, and you don't move well, and then it depresses you, and then all these things, and then it's like, dude, everything leading up to that comes from what you put in your body. And what's unfortunate is that these people, when I'm saying anyone, I'm not saying that, I'm saying any person.
Every person.
They don't know any better, because that's what but also you should, because the information is at our fingertips now, right? It used to be saying I don't know was a good excuse, because we had this food pyramid that we were supposed to abide by that now we know is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, now we know there's different ways to be healthy and eat healthy and consume. You could be high protein, low carb, high fat, and function fine. You could be, the other way around, higher carbs, lower fat. You know what I mean? Like, you could do those things and then higher protein. There's different things you can do. You can go all vegan. You can go all carnivore. Like, you can do all these things and it will make drastic changes. But we do know now 100%, if you eat like this is the end result. Heart disease, you name it. Like, keep cancer, all these things. Like, we know that. So, like, why in the fuck is it so hard to, like, just flip that switch now that you have the information?
Because it hasn't been painful enough for them to change yet. So that I've seen it. It's the same with an addiction. So I treat it the same way as somebody addicted to heroin.
Yeah,
it's the exact same. So the pathway in the brain, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
They get a hit every time they get that French fry. Every time they have an airhead. Every time, whatever it is.
Right.
It's highly palatable and highly calorically dense. So you put them two together, danger. Because you got sugar, salt, fat all together, big danger. It goes, hey, what's up? I like this. So there's nothing wrong with any food. I think all food is great, but it's dose and duration. It is a drug, so you should refer to dose and duration. So what is your dosage over how many times? If you know that you're taking a drug, you don't take 14 Tylenol at once, because it's a wrong dose for the wrong duration. Same thing, you shouldn't be eating 4 cheeseburgers, because that's a wrong dose for the wrong duration. It's a drug. So I treat any behavioral thing, it's just like a drug issue. So you have to establish a pain point and something in their life that is making them stick. And I'm figuring this out, and it messed me up the other day, because I almost had a kid cry on me, and I felt terrible. But when I drilled down to it, the reason why he was doing these things is because he was not sure of anything in his life. He didn't know where he fit in his life. He didn't like where he came from. He didn't like his job. He didn't like anything. And the only thing he felt like he liked was smoking cigarettes and eating fast food.
Yeah.
And so when I was trying to take that away, it was an immediate, like, you can't take the 3 things that I love. And when I had to explain it to him, it's like, trust me, I understand. Life is really hard, and we cope with things differently. So if I were to take away one thing, let me take away that smoking from you. That's the most impactful right now. And then let's proceed with the other stuff.
Yeah.
Let me take okay, if we can do that for 3 weeks, let me take the next thing and let's take that out of there. Because when I first said, I need you to move. I need you to eat. I need you to drink. And he just was like, nope, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. And because to him, that was the only thing that made him feel decent.
Right. No, yeah, that's completely understandable. And I completely agree with your strategy. I think that's anytime I was training people or working with anyone, like when it's in the bodybuilding scene or the MMA scene or whatever, it's like, let's take away one thing at a time, not try to do it all at once. So you're not, immediately like, screw this, I throw my hands up. But it's just one of those things where people say they want to do something and they're not willing to put in the work to do it. That's what frustrates me.
And that's valid. So I am never the one that's the like touchy feely. I'm just not.
Right.
I'm trying to work on that. Truly, I'm trying to have more sympathy and empathy for people, because to me, it's you do or you don't. And I've flat out told people, I said, look, you will change and you will listen when it is painful enough for you to do so.
Exactly. Or yes, most of the time.
When it hurts, or you have a heart attack, or a family member has an issue, or you're going to get kicked out of your apartment, or whatever it is, I don't know. When it's painful enough, you will make a change. So if somebody said, hey, you have diabetes right now, and you could have your leg amputated if you don't stop having like sugary things, there's a lot of people that say, I will never touch another thing again because I want to walk. A lot of people. There are some people that no matter what you say, they're going to get their foot cut off.
They'll keep doing it.
And
then they'll blame it on genetics or some bullshit.
Yeah. So and I'm learning, like, to me, it's such a weird thing. Like, this fitness thing is, I don't know. It's such a mental gymnastics thing, to where the fitness thing is just a symptom of the mind. Like, whatever they are willing to adopt and believe is what they're going to do. I can't make you do anything physically at all. Can't make you do nothing. You have to mentally say, I am going to show up today. I'm not going to go get that fast food. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to drink water. I'm going to have a great attitude, whatever that is. It's all a mental health. It's a mental health issue. Most things that we're dealing with, good and bad, have to do with mental health, whether good or bad. And that there's some very self-aware people that will call themselves out and say, I'm going to fix it. That's why I started with that every 30 days. And it's funny, you catch me after the first.
Yeah.
Every 30 days, I call myself out, because there are things that everybody doesn't do well. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's food, if it's I don't know, you told your wife you appreciate her, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people that they don't confront things because it is so painful to them that they don't have the coping thing. So instead of him confronting it, he would rather have a cigarette because he gets that feel good.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, okay, it's all right. I'm going to go back to work, get my smoke break. It's not so bad. An hour later, he get another 15-minute smoke break, because he can compartmentalize for 45 minutes because he gets another 15-minute fix.
Yeah.
So it is such a weird thing, and that if you can get people to believe that life is better than what it can be better than what is currently happening to them, you got something good on your hands.
Yeah, and it's funny that there's never been a case that I've ever seen where someone got in shape, started eating better, and felt worse about themselves.
Never. I tell people all the time.
I've never seen that story. Oh, they lost 200 pounds. They ate healthy. Now they're running marathons. They hate their life.
Never.
I've never seen that. So
Never.
why not just turn the direction that way first,
You know what? Some people are fearful of losing the people around them, because when you start changing, some people don't like that because
1,000%.
it makes them feel weird.
1,000%.
So some of that could be even that. They don't change because if they do, their spouse is like either making them feel bad about it, or their mom is like tearing them down, or whatever.
Yeah, I think you definitely, that's one thing your friends change, your family, you have to, if you're going to do it, if you're making an entire lifestyle change, you got to get the whole house on board for sure. Like it's just like my kids, me and my wife do it, so there's no excuse, and we're those type of people. Sure. It's very hard to find a couple that's like that. But then also, not trying to project too much of that on our children is hard. Yeah. You have to find balance there. I don't feel like, oh, what are you eating? You're a little fat ass. You can't have that. I can't be that way. But it's also like, hey, I know you want this Reese's Easter egg. I want that Reese's Easter egg too. Here's what happens if you do that too much.
Yes.
Right?
That's the healthy way to do it.
Right. And there's also, it's not in the fucking house. So if it's not in the house, don't buy it. Don't put it in the house. Don't say that's all my kid will eat. Well, if it's not in the house, they don't have to eat something else.
So in your house, it sounds like it's a solidarity thing. I think if you got family members that don't subscribe to the way that you live, that causes a rift. And that some people, that rift is too much for them to do it. And so they'll go, you know what? It's not worth all that. And they slide back into old habits because they love their mom. They love their siblings. They love their spouse, whatever. And that if the spouse or the sibling or the cousin or whoever, like they hold that space in their life, and that they start pulling away because you make them feel weird about themselves because of your choice. Sometimes that's hard for people.
I can see where that happens 1,000%.
Because when you see people, man, you changed. And then you go, well, yeah, but I'm supposed to change. Like, if I'm the same, I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
So as you age, like that's the goal, is to get older, get wiser. It's not get old, stay dumb. Like, you're supposed to get older and wiser. Wiser means you don't do things that don't work.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
I know, man. It's I don't think this is an equation we're ever going to solve. I just feel like we're just going to keep filling up a whiteboard. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And if somebody somewhere is going through the same thing, because they're battling what they should do with what the fallout is going to be. And that when you become an adult, like a for real adult, age is not adult. You could have a 16-year-old that is an adult. And that when you become an adult, you realize like you can only protect and you can only control with what you got going on.
1,000%.
And that the others, either they're going to get down with the program or they don't. And that you're still happy to see them, but if they choose to pull away, that is their choice, not your choice.
Yeah. It is funny whenever you start getting healthier and people being weird around you. Like, I saw that a long time ago at an early age, right? It's like where everyone looks at you weird or jokes with you. Hey, you're only eating that. And yeah, I mean, it is funny and it's cool, you know, and yeah, you're right. But also I give a shit, right? You know, now some days I'll let loose and do whatever, but my let loose and doing whatever is not going and eating fried chicken. Like, I can't do it. Like, I just can't. Like, I might eat like a bite of someone's Raising Cane's, but I can't go order a whole damn box and eat it without shitting myself in 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
But you can still be there,
but
and like have community. Like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. But some people were weird about, you know, and it is. But on the same token, people were weird about. They may have these issues to where they're the closet, you know, snack or whatever because they feel. That's their way of their dopamine hit, you know what I mean? And they do it when no one else is around, you know?
Well, think of it when people tell you they stop drinking. That is the big. They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because if you say, no, man, I ain't drinking.
I'm still in my head. I'm still teetering on whether I want to stop completely or just continue to. I've said this multiple times. I'll say it here, like I'll have an occasional drink, and then sometimes I'll go a month where I'm having 2 or 3 a week. You know, cocktails a night, you know, like different, like 2 or 3 nights a week, you know, and then I go back to maybe just once a week, but I'm really teetering on if I want to quit completely. But I like, part of me is like, yeah, you'll probably be better, like health wise. But at the same time, like if that's the only thing I'm doing bad every now and then, so I'm still trying to make that decision.
It's all relative. So,
yeah.
And everybody's going to have a different answer. It's not right. It's just what's right for you right now. So like, I don't drink ever. But like if you offer me something, like when you did, I was like, I don't care. I'll have it. But
yeah, we'll have a little sip of something. Yeah,
like it has no hold on me because I don't look forward to it. Like I used to look forward to it. I don't even look forward to it.
See,
it just changed.
I do now, but I don't think I look forward to the drink as much as like me and wife have a hard workout and then we go have a dinner and a drink after.
Sure.
I look forward to that. And you have that like after you've just killed yourself like an hour ago, you're like, ooh, this is a nice little whatever.
It's the ritual.
Yeah. So that's the biggest problem is I look forward to that. And I don't think I can duplicate that with regular, like, because it also gives you a sense of relaxation that no matter what's going to happen because of the chemical process, right? I can't do that on my own. I might do it with like some marijuana.
That's fair.
Or, you know, whatever, but I can't do that on my own. It's like a forced relaxer.
And if that's your vice,
within reason, right?
There is plenty of things that could do you worse.
Right, within reason. But I don't want it. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just quit completely. But who knows? I'm still trying to figure that out.
You can have dry spells. It's kind of like where people, like where people are primarily plant eaters, but then every now and then they'll have some kind of, I don't know, they had some holiday thing that they like, and they go, oh man, let me get some of that prime rib. They don't eat it all the time, but at the time when they had something that they wanted, they had it, and then they kept it moving. So I mean, it didn't have to be like a.
No, it's just me beating myself in my head, up my head.
Don't even trip.
Right, but that's what we do, right?
Yeah, true.
That's what we do. Like that's who I am, you know. And if I'm gonna find a point of weakness and attack it, that's me, right? And that right now, that's a conversation I'm having with myself. Is that a weakness or is it? You know, what is it? You know.
I would say, what's the cost and what's the cost benefit? So if it's something that's enriching the relationship with your wife, and it's something that's just for you and her, is it really gonna hurt you? Probably not.
Right.
And in the grand scheme of things, if you had it, I don't know, once a week, that's 4 times a month, is it really gonna hurt you? No.
A lot better than 3 times a week.
Yeah,
right.
It's not going to hurt you.
We don't do the 3 times a week that much anymore. But like it does, there'll be weeks where that may happen because I may be out of town or you do this or whatever. Vacation, yeah, 1,000%.
Well, that's kind of the point, though.
Right.
So you go there and you say, you know what? The rules that usually exist to me, yeah, you're still going to move. You're still going to try to do pretty well. But the whole point of vacation is to relax, man. So if that's what you do it, man.
Yeah.
And then get back on it. So otherwise, you never really relax.
Yeah.
I had to learn that skill. I still am not good at it.
I'm still learning it.
I'm not good at it, but I'm getting better.
I am, at the end of the day, like when I just feel like it, when I'm ready to turn it off, I can. But I'm not saying this is my best. I'm not great at it.
So I will say I have a switch, but it doesn't work good.
Yeah.
So my switch is always on. Sometimes I can like force it off, especially if I'm hurt or like if I'm starting to feel ran down, like my training has been a little rough or like work stress has been very bad. And I say, you know what? I am going to intentionally not do anything physically difficult Saturday or Sunday. I will not. And then Monday, hell is to pay because I got to do something. Mm-hmm. But that Saturday and Sunday, it might be like, hey, I'm taking the kids for a bike ride. I'm outside doing some gardening stuff. It's just regular, just life. But there's sometimes you just got to say, look, I'm going to shut it down. I'm not good at that, though.
Same. Are you, how do you feel about this, this doing something really hard? Like, are you still doing, like, because for me, I am. Like, I feel like once a quarter, I'm doing something very hard. Very hard for me. Like, yes. Where are you at on that? Like, and it doesn't have to be physically, just like, I don't know. Like,
nah, I stay on it.
You subscribe to that.
It'll never go away.
Well, my wife and I were talking about this, and there's like a bunch of studies and stuff, and there's like all these things, and she's super into psychology and all that. So it's like if you force yourself, and we've talked about this here too, right? Mm-hmm. You force yourself to do something really hard, mm-hmm. but not every day, just every now and then, like mm-hmm. to reset or whatever. And I think I've subscribed to that at this point because it was like I had something really, really hard. I think the 1st of March, whenever that was, or February, into February, and then like I had something that was moderately hard like last weekend, and then I'm gonna have something that is very, very difficult coming up in June, you know, and then I'm gonna have something again in September, and I have something on the books again in November. Like those things, I know, like not only are hard, like they're very difficult. You know what I mean?
Physically or mentally?
Both. At the same time.
I've transitioned. Now, granted, the physical stuff, I will push the gas pedal real hard, and to my detriment. I have to be careful now. But mentally, I'm putting myself in really uncomfortable spaces daily.
Well, I think I'm going to have to start doing that more because I'm getting to the point where it's an age thing, and I'm not using that as an excuse because I will still outwork anyone or die trying.
Yeah.
I will. I don't give a shit. But like, I'll put myself in a scenario to where like we were competing this last week, and I was like, mentally I want to go harder, but physically my body's like, you have to stop right now.
That's valid.
That's annoying. So now I'm like, okay, well, I got to find a way to stress myself mentally because this is not stressing. I've stressed myself physically here, but I'm not sitting here wanting to give up mentally. So what am I going to do to attack that neuron or whatever?
So mentally, I'll put myself in this positions that I'm not officially qualified for, and I will do it on purpose. Yeah. And I will say, hey, I'm going to deliver this day, and then I have to figure it out. I don't have a choice. I already told this whole thing. I've told this whole group of people.
So you set yourself up for failure?
I don't know how to do it, but
right.
I'm going to find it.
Right.
And that I'm going to deliver, and I'm going to do something that scares me. Because without, like, when your body physically, you can't. There's only so much physical that your body will allow you.
Yeah.
The other part is the mental. So
well, used to, I would get to that mental breaking point, and my physical point was very. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was
like
very. They were close. It's like, holy shit, I can't swim anymore. I feel like I'm about to drown, and also I want to give up right now.
Yeah.
But there's somebody right here depending on me, so I got to finish this exercise, right? Or this competition. So like, that's not there anymore. Now it's like, I can keep going. You know, I can keep going. So
that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, but it fucks with me too. I'm like, dude. So now I got to find a different way to attack that.
So you got to, I would say, putting yourself in something that, number one, you're not good at.
Yeah.
And number two, it's almost a stretch if you're able to execute it.
Yeah.
So self-imposed stress is necessary to scratch that itch. Otherwise, you are going to ruin your body. I know it. You're looking at me because I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
You ruin it. And that the mental warfare is just as taxing as the physical one.
Well, it's like I was having this conversation with someone I look up to. He's been on the show before, but we were having this conversation yesterday. He, my wife, and I. It's just like one of those things. It's like pain is inevitable.
Yeah.
Suffering is a choice.
Yeah, you can choose. You know what? I'm going to tell you something that I knew I grew up. There's been so many bad things that have happened in the past year that normally I would have flipped out. And I'm talking about lost all cool, cussing everybody out, and costing tens of thousands of dollars. Like bad. There was something mental playing these things of, okay, you used to do this, and then what did it yield?
Yeah.
Not much. So what I said is, no matter what happens, you are not allowed to act in a certain way that is not productive. So every time something bad happens, and it's been happening a lot, I just say, okay, what are you gonna do about it? That is my internal, and sometimes I'll say it out loud like I'm like seething.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are you gonna do about it? And that mental, you're gonna figure it out. Like right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but I'm gonna act right now. That has saved me so much and made me grow. Because I used to hide it with exercise. I used to mask it with like, I'm gonna
go work out hard.
I'm gonna train this away. And when you can't or you shouldn't, you have to mature and say, I'm gonna make this happen. I don't care what happens, we're gonna figure it out. And you can't, who's gonna stop me? Nobody. And that kind of like, it's the same as being like wild, like when you're training for something real crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop me from achieving that if I don't let it. Never. It's never a thing. And I'm glad that I developed that in the past. Because I think that once you lose the physical gifts, the only thing you have is up top.
Yeah, if you don't have any strength there, you're just going to collapse.
Yeah. So
because if you're depending on all of your dopamine from diet and exercise, or just a healthy lifestyle and exercise, and then that starts being stripped away with you with age, I mean, yeah.
That's all you got.
What do you have?
Brain.
What do you have? Do you have any fortitude?
And then figuring out how to be clever. And how do you outsmart you? That, like those kind of uncomfortable ones where you're calling yourself out, you're dealing with some bullshit that you can't get out of, but you have to find a way. Because I don't have a backup. I don't know if you do. I don't have anybody. Like I am the people.
Yeah.
So because I am the people, you better figure it out, because everybody that is dependent on you relies on you to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that is like the mental, like the hard stuff. And it has nothing to do with business. It has to do with just life.
Yeah. It's so funny how big of idiots we used to be. Like, you just look back. Like, I look back to my 20s, and not saying, yes, your normal dumb 20 decisions, but just mentally what I thought was important and dumbass decisions I made with no regard to anything, my well-being, others. It's just funny how stupid we were. And it's so funny, like, to be around like someone younger and have conversations, and I can't project that to them, because that would project it to me, right? Hey, you get older, I can't be that way. It's more just let me just be insightful and tell them my view on it, without saying, hey, you little dumbass, listen, because I don't think you can really, that doesn't work.
It didn't work on us.
It didn't work on me. But
like,
it's so funny to look back.
40.
It
Like,
was,
yeah.
was funny to look. Yeah, but that was a different conversation then, because their conversations, wait till you're 40, you ain't gonna be able to move.
Yeah.
We're doing just fine, right?
Yeah.
But it was more like, you're gonna learn one day. Well, I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to learn every day. But also, like, it's one of those things. Like, dude, we're just literally delirious. Just didn't know what the hell was going on, unaware of everything.
Well, just selfish and reckless. You just
1000%.
Just didn't know.
1000%.
And that where you're just trying to figure out even who you are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wasn't even trying to figure out. I didn't care. You know what I mean? That was the problem.
Anything that you can get like attention from, you're gonna do.
Exactly.
And if you're getting attention from the opposite sex, you're gonna do it more. And admiration from people that look like you're gonna do it more. Now, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
If it don't work, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't care about what clothes I'm wearing. I mean, I'm gonna wear what I like. I'm not
Do
gonna.
you see the shirt?
I know. I like
right
it. You got the
now?
Nintendo controller with the crutches, boy.
With the walker.
Still moving though.
Hey.
Still moving.
So I could care less.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I want to wear what my wife's like. Why do you want? I was like, I don't know. I like it. Like, I don't care about trends or fads anymore or certain vehicles. It's like, does it do what I need it to do? Mm-hmm. Does it function properly? Is it somewhat presentable to her? Just so, like, okay, I'm with my kids and, like, I don't want to be an embarrassment, like, of what I'm wearing or what I'm, what I'm saying? But, like, does it do the job? Okay, cool.
Right.
Is it appropriate?
So I think some of that stuff, like when you lose your physical, like you're not as physically like what you used to be. Mm-hmm. Close, but you're not there. I think the mental, like, are you saying these mental games? Mm-hmm. So like that cold plunge is a mental game for you. You don't want to do it. Ooh. So it's one of the ones where you don't want to do it, but whatever you don't want to do, you should probably do twice.
I never want to do it.
Never. So,
ever. Like, I was talking about it at the gym yesterday, and I was like, it's the best thing ever, and I hate it. And I was like thinking, oh, it's so good for me, and I was looking forward to it. Like, I can't. Knowing that I was going to hate it, but I was just thinking, yeah, it's horrible every day, but I'm looking forward to it right now. Mm-hmm. And then I get up this morning, try to talk myself out of it.
Yeah.
Every fucking time I try to talk myself out of it, which is annoying as shit. Like, and so how many times do you try to talk yourself out of decisions?
Every day.
Right. And now sometimes that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's always a good thing to
mid-exercise.
Right.
Like, I'm suffering.
Right. But if we're talking about that, if you try to talk yourself out of it, if it's not hurting you, like physically hurting you, then I feel like you should just go ahead and finish it.
I was just being punk about it. Mm-hmm. So I have the same inner dialogue. I just squish that thing because I get real mad.
No, there's some days I don't. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's one day, like maybe if I'm in a hurry, I'm like, this is a good excuse.
Fair.
I'm running late. Something happened. I'm gonna jump in the shower and just get it cold.
Fair.
That's at least. Now this is one little thing in our lives, right? We're talking about. I'm not. There's a lot of decisions made all day long that are like this, right? But yeah, I think I do think it's the fortitude thing is extremely important as you get older and you start losing that outlet of push.
It used to be that was my antidepressant.
Yeah.
For the longest time, so like I looked forward to that to like deal with not like wanting to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So or just like I was having a stressful day, or you just felt pent up, you're irritated, you'd go train or you go run or do whatever. It was an outlet that was a positive and you looked and felt different and it just worked. What happens is when you start getting hurt and you have kids or you have job obligations, you're late for a meeting, whatever, and that gets taken away, what now can you do to help yourself? Right. If you don't have that, you're going to spin out.
Well, yeah, and I don't want this to be a conversation where people start saying, oh, yeah, I have an excuse to not do things I don't want to do. Fuck that.
No.
Do the hard things always. You know what I mean? So
I tell you like this. So there's some non-negotiables, and that there's my non-negotiables is I will move every day.
Yeah.
Every day there's a non-negotiable. I'm moving. Does it have to be to full capacity? Nope. But non-negotiable, I will move every day. 2 days a week are going to be extremely hard to where if you come talk to me, we're going to have bad words because you can't be in my space when I'm doing this. The other days, negotiable. I could talk to you. 2 days, if you see me with my headphones on and I'm sweating, I'm looking real crazy, do not approach because those are the only 2 days that I have to give. If you ruin them 2 days, nothing good is coming out of that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm really mad because I may not have the juice in the tank for another day.
Mm-hmm.
You just messed me up. Now I'm mad. But the non-negotiables are whatever you set out, you're doing. Even if it takes you. So if you're set density, and we're not going into the whole methodology of set density, it's a problem. Maybe that can be another one. If your density of training during that time is high enough, you're good. If you have 12 reps and it takes you 4 times to get to the 12 reps, don't care. If that's set and you got to 4 and you failed, cool, because you got 30 seconds, you're coming back, 4, cool, 30 seconds, 4, come back, now you get your 12, that's fine. But 12 is 12, you're going to do it. So the non-negotiables, so people trying to weasel out, it doesn't happen. You may just have to do it in a different way than you said it. So
yeah.
There is no backing out.
Yeah.
And that you have to be the person you were when you wrote it the day before. You cannot be the person you are that morning, because that person that morning is a coward.
Exactly.
So you were excited about cold plunge in the afternoon because you were brave and you were good. In the morning you were a coward and you got over it.
Yeah.
But cowardice it should not exist.
Right.
In most
And that's
people's
one
lives.
little example of a whole day.
And this is everything.
This happens with all types of things, not just that decision.
The cowardice of, hey, I should probably apologize to my spouse because I said something unkind.
Right.
And that you don't want to because it makes you feel stupid. No. We don't do that.
Yeah.
You have to hold yourself, you should hold yourself to that standard. If you hold yourself to the standard physically, more likely, I'm going to tell my spouse, hey, I'm sorry. I have to apologize to you. It tastes gross coming out of my mouth. you know what I'm saying? Because you may be right about some things, but is it worth
Is it worth all the pushback?
No.
Look, man.
So, dude, you gotta be that person.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to have turmoil.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but it would highly behoove you to be authentic and do what you say and be of a good character. That's anything else. What are we talking about?
Yeah, we gotta keep doing hard shit, man.
Other than that, you might as well just lay on the damn couch and get 600 pounds
Yeah, let's just all keep doing hard shit
every day.
and make yourself do things you don't want to do, or try different things, man. That's another thing. Like, try some new shit.
Go swimming.
I try to try different things, new things all the time. Whether it comes to food, watching something different, reading something different, working on a different project that I'm probably not well versed in, doing a different exercise that I probably don't enjoy, but I probably don't enjoy it because I haven't tried it,
That's part of, remember, old and wise?
Yeah.
That's the wise part.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't do the same thing. Otherwise, you become Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
You should throw them footballs over mountains and you ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, that's all you can talk about.
So I would think that the more things you pursue in life, the more honest you hold yourself to the standard that you set, and be comfortable with people not following you.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, don't project your shit on someone else, especially if they don't want to buy into it. But if they do want to buy into it, let's lead them down the right path.
Because this show ain't for everybody.
Well, it's definitely not.
And that it's okay. So this is the coolest part. If you get a clip or a snippet out of this that it resonated with you and it stung, good. There's something in there that needs to be addressed, and that it's not to say, hey, you're not good. It's just not everything is for everybody, but these principles for everybody.
Yeah.
They're for everybody. If you're lying, it ain't gonna hurt nobody but you. So I hope whoever is hearing this, and that maybe it's not their cup of tea and they hear something like this, that if it stings, investigate.
Yeah. Let's wrap it there.
All right.
I like
it there. Hey, man.
I love it, bro.
Appreciate it.